Hey, algebra class. Today we're going to continue with our solving equations. But today we're going to do it with variables on both sides of the equation. Um, so, again, this is something that you guys have probably seen over and over again. One of the things I want you to realize is you need to isolate the variable to one side. So, let's get started right away, but variables on each side. To solve an equation with the same variable, notice it's the same variable on each side. First, use the addition or the subtraction property of equality to write an equivalent equation that has the variable on just one side. Then solve the equation. So what we're doing is the first thing we want to do is we want to get the variables to one side. So in this example, 5y minus 8 equals 3y plus 12. They're deciding to move the 3y over to the 5y. So the way we do that, right, we're going to break it. That's a positive 3y. So we're going to subtract 3y. So they subtract 3y to both sides. So that moves over because 3y minus 3y cancels out. And 5y minus 3y becomes 2y. So then we got 2y minus 8 equals 12. Now we're going to add the 8 to both sides. And remember, this is all linear here, how they're doing this. We like to kind of do these vertical. So I'm going to show you vertical as well. So negative 8 plus 8 cancels out. 12 plus 8 is 20. Then divide by 2. You get y equals 10. I'm going to rewrite this so that you guys can see what it looks like written vertically. Alright, so what we're going to do is I'm going to subtract 3y from both sides. Subtract 3y. 5y minus 3y is 2y. And then I'm going to bring down the minus 8. Some of you might like to do this in one step, which is fine. So instead of bringing down the minus 8, I can add 8 to both sides. And I can do this all in one step. If you want to do that, that's fine. So I would get 2y equals 20. And then my last step would be to divide by 2. And I get y equals 10. So like I said, you can do that in two steps, or you can do it in one quick step. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys this one here. I'm going to change this up a little bit. Give me a second. I'm just going to do it instead of having this show you. There we go. All right. So we got negative 11 minus 3y equals 8y plus 1. All right, so one of the things I like to do is I take the smaller variable, and that's the one I'm going to move. So where it says negative 3y, I'm going to move that. So add 3y to both sides, plus 3y. My 3y's cancel, so I get negative 11 equals 8 plus 3y is 11y plus 1. So now I can subtract the 1 to both sides. My 1's cancel out. I get negative 12 equals 11y. Divide by 11. Divide by 11. And I get y equals. Now, I'm going to leave it as an improper fraction. It's perfectly fine to just say negative 12 over 11. And that's my answer. And leave it just like that. So I'm going to show you guys the assignment, and maybe I'll do one or two problems with you guys. I'm going to leave these ones with you. They're fairly simple, no fractions. I want to look and see if we have any problems with fractions. So here's one that has decimals. You would do a decimal the same exact way that you do a whole number. So I have negative x, so I'm going to add x to both sides. So I get 2.2, because that becomes 1x. So 2.2x plus 4.3 equals 2.1. 2.1. So then I'm going to subtract 4.3 from both sides. They cancel out, and I get 2.2x equals, well, 2.1 minus 4.3 is going to be negative 2.2, I believe. Negative 2.2. Perfect. So this equals negative 2.2. The 2.2 is in front of x, so I'm going to divide by 2.2. Divide by 2.2. My x's alone now equals negative 1. And that's my answer. And I'd like you to get into the habit of circling your answer. I think that's a good way to continue on in math. Good. So I'm going to show you guys the fractions. All right. If you notice, this one has a fraction. So the first thing I want to do is I want to get rid of all denominators. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the entire equation by, if I have 1/2 and 1/8, I want the greatest common factor. The greatest common factor. So, or the least common multiple, actually, of 2 and 8. So I want to multiply by something that's going to cancel out all of the fractions. So if I multiplied everything by 2, it would cancel out that first fraction, but it wouldn't cancel out the 1/8. So if I multiply everything by 8, though, now it's going to cancel out. So watch, 8 times 1/2 b, so 1/2 of 8 is 4, so that gives me 4b. And then 8 times 4 plus 32 equals 8 times 1/8. 8 divided by 8 is 1, so I'm just left with b plus 8 times 88. 8 times 88 is 704. So now I can subtract the b over, subtract the b, and I'm going to do this in one step real quick. I'm going to subtract 32 as well. So my b's cancel out there. 4b minus b is 3b. They cancel out. 3b equals 704 minus 32 is 672. And then I divide both sides by 3. And I get b equals 672 divided by 3 is 224. And that's my answer. Now, number 8 is going to be different because you're going to multiply everything by, the denominator in both of those are 4. So you're going to multiply everything by 4. And you're going to become left with, and I'll put this in a different color and I'll leave this here for you. I'll put it in black since I'm doing it. 3/4 times 4 is 3k. 3k minus 5 times 4 is 20 equals, the 4's cancel out, so it's just 1k minus 4. And then you guys can finish that out from there. Make sure you finish that problem. And so the rest is up to you guys. All right, any questions, reach out. Thanks, guys.